Wait, what? Wait, what? Shut your bitch ass up.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another GSD. We're going to talk again about leadership. Leadership. And this particular conversation comes from a conversation that I had recently. Can I use conversation twice? I'm not even sure. But the content comes from a conversation that I had here recently because the evolution of leadership, and what I mean by evolution, not that the leadership itself is changing, but the evolution that you have to go through to become a good leader. That's what I mean by the evolution of leadership. And here's what I basically said in my conversation. If you are trying to lead your team through the narrative of hand holding, ass wiping, babysitting, they should fucking know how to do their job. If that's the narrative that you have about your team, and that's the narrative in which you're trying to lead your team through, you're not a fucking leader. You're a micromanager that is imposing expectations on people based upon your own skills and ability. As leaders, it is not our job to impose our strengths, our gifts, our abilities, our capacity onto our team. And that is an easy way to constantly be frustrated. This is also a great example as to why leadership is the most difficult thing that you'll ever do, because it has nothing to do with the work itself. It has nothing to do with the craft. It has everything to do with the people performing the craft. And if your frustration, again, is created through the lens and through the narrative of hand-holding, babysitting, and ass wiping your team, that's how you're going to treat them. And guess what? That's how they're going to behave. At least that's how they're going to behave until they leave. Because I don't know any adult that wants to be treated like a toddler. Now, you may be sitting there saying, well, if they would just do their job, then I wouldn't think that way and I wouldn't behave that way. Okay, two things on that. One, if you're blaming your team for your behavior, that lets me know that you're a chicken shit leader. That's chicken shit leadership right there. Blaming your team for how you behave. And if you truly believe that, this is the second thing, then you're just an asshole. Nobody wants to work for you anyway. Here's the good news. If you don't believe that, then you understand that the maturity of leadership is an option for you. The growth in leadership is an option for you. The ability to become a better leader is an option for you. See, just because you're a good person doesn't make you a good leader. But to be a good leader, you need to be a good person. And being a good leader does not mean forcing people to get things done to meet metrics that feed your bottom line. Being a leader is getting your people to understand the value of getting the job done in the time metric or in whatever metrics you're measuring by, but understanding the value of their performance in doing so. You can't look at the craft through the lens of a leader. You have to look at your team through the lens of a leader. And this is why I often talk about the mistakes or the difficulty. Sometimes it's a mistake. Oftentimes it's difficulty that we make as business owners is we put our best technician in the position of leadership because they were the best at getting the job done. They were the best at troubleshooting. They were the best at fabrication. They were the quickest, the most efficient, the most profitable. They were everything that we want in the performance of a technician. So we take that individual and go, yes, let's promote them. Let's put them up here so others may see their greatness. And what happens is because they were a great technician, they manage other people, they manage their team through the lens of becoming a great technician. Back to my original point, we're now imposing on them the standard of ourself, the skill set of ourself, the operational capacity of ourself. And that is how we measure success of the people on our team, because we look at it and go, I could do that faster, I could do that better, I could do that differently, I know more, I know this, blah blah blah. So that's how we manage our team. And that is, again, the difficulty and often a mistake that business owners make, that we make in promoting the top performing technician into a leadership role. You've got to set people up to be a successful leader. So if I am the best technician and I get put in a leadership role, I can't start managing people based on my own ability. I have to start managing my time and knowledge to learn their ability. And guys, look, I'm going to tell you, if you're still listening to me on this right now, this is going to be counterintuitive to a lot of you. And it's definitely counterintuitive to how I was raised in the trades and how a lot of us were raised in the trades. And that's why this copy, paste, lather, rinse, repeat version of poor management still continues into the trades, because you haven't broken the cycle of poor management. I have no problem with hazing. I have no problem with paying their dues. I have no problem with people earning their stripes. I think that's part of the brotherhood and the culture. The piece that we miss is we fucking beat people down and we never pick them back up. We never elevate them to be better. We never seek to understand what they're good at. We just expect them to be as good as us. So as a leader, again, you've got to take the time to learn your team. You've got to know what they're good at. So don't manage people through your own skill set, and don't manage people through, again, the lens and narrative of hand holding, ass wiping, babysitting management. You want a better team? Be a better leader. Leadership is not an external game, it's an internal game. You can't fix your team. You can't look at leadership and go, this is how I'm going to fix my team. This is how I'm going to fix the guys that work for me. This is how I'm going to fix my employees. You can't fix your people through leadership. What you can do is fix yourself through leadership and then lead them to become better. This is not a tool of leverage. This is not a tool of manipulation. This is not a hammer that you use to correct people's behavior. Leadership has to be taken from a different approach, again, through a different lens. So you have to understand that leadership is an internal game. As we grow and hire people, and the companies that I work with that are growing and hiring people, it's really easy to skip over the unfuck process. When you bring somebody on board, we invite them into our company. We offer them some type of monetary value for a skill set that they offer, and ultimately, we want them to buy into our vision and help us achieve it. And they have a specific role in doing that. we skip the unfuck process because we just want them to come in and immediately plug and play into our business, our model, our culture, our expectations. You have to understand that every single person, including yourself, we are shaped by our experiences. Good or bad, we are shaped by our experiences. So when we bring somebody in, we don't really know what their experiences were. So they already have a lens, they already have a narrative. And if we don't understand the process, the time, the patience, the leadership, the investment that it takes to help understand them, so we can begin unfucking them from the bad managers that they've had and the bad experiences that they've had, because we don't want them to bring that baggage into the culture of our company. We have to take time to do that. Again, it's one of the reasons we have an onboarding process. We are there to micro understand. You thought I was going to say micromanage. We're there to micro understand them and get them to micro understand our company and our culture. So the leadership is a skill set, but the leadership is being able to step back, look at the individual in your company and go, how can I help them improve? And I could turn this into a Q&A, and somebody goes, well, what if they don't want to get better? First of all, if you have RREs in your company, that is going to answer itself. If they don't want to get better, then they get to stay in the role that they're good at. Stop trying to fucking promote everybody in your company. Some people want to grow, some don't. You need somebody in every seat. If I've got a technician that caps out as a third year, but they're really, really good at it, they're really efficient at it, they enjoy the work, they don't want to be a fourth year, they don't want to be in management, they don't want to be a foreman, they want to be in that position. Why the fuck would I push them into a position that's going to make them unhappy and make them fail, which in turn is going to frustrate me? If they don't want to get better, okay, let's take better off the table. By the way, not necessarily through proximity or photosynthesis, but let's face it, if they're around better people and they're in a better culture and they have good leadership, people will just naturally get better. They will adapt to the excellence. Doesn't mean that they have to promote, but they will adapt to the excellence. And if they want to promote, then you make a fucking plan. We overcomplicate this shit so often. What's the plan? Show up every day, clock in, clock out, do my job, and in a year I'll get a raise. You can fucking go work for somebody else. I care about performance. Loyalty is important to me, but it's not the metric. So I'm going to bring this back around as I close this up. You've got to change your narrative if you want your team to improve. You have to reshape the lens if you want your team to improve. Stop expecting everyone to be you. They're not you. Find out what they're better at than you. Find out what their zone of genius is. Find out what their skill set is. And now you can start to put them in situations where they can excel. They can perform because they're working within their skill set, within their craft, within their ability. You have to put them there before you can grow them. If we just take them out of that and set them over here on the shelf and go, here, I need you to grow, and we don't nurture them, we don't educate them, we don't pour into them as a leader, and we've taken them completely out of their comfort zone, out of their zone of genius, they're not going to grow. And yes, I said the word comfort zone. Okay. Let me just touch on that for a second. I said comfort zone. That's where we can start there. Doesn't mean we have to stay there, but we can start there. And sometimes you got to reel people back a little bit. If you've got some high energy performers, they want bigger, they want better, they want faster, and they want to go. That's a problem too. It's just a different problem. So, as a leader, you've got to understand you have to change your narrative, you have to change your lens. You're there to serve your team so they can get better. Thanks for spending this time with me. Get shit done. Be proud to be a tradesman. See ya.